Hey, BookTube Sean here, coming to you today with a combination channel chat and book haul, and maybe even a little extra vinyl haul on the book haul. I know I've never done a vinyl haul, but that's kind of part of what I want to talk about. So let's get to this is going to be a bit of a long video because I have some things to talk about, and I want to do a book haul in this video too. So I don't want it to just be a channel chat. So what I want to talk about is some of you may have seen I put a poll out on Twitter. 8 people voted on it, so that's definitely why I want to talk about it here too, and get your guys' opinions and thoughts and stuff, because eight people voting on a Twitter poll is in no means indicative or representative of the 560 subscribers I have. So basically, I'm wondering, I'm kind of wanting to add some other content to the channel. I need to take back my reading life, and find some balance in my life between reading and other things I enjoy doing, like cross stitch now, and my theater life. And I have some self-learning to do on some computer code languages to get where I want to be career-wise. And it's going things like that, and balancing all of that, I think, is going to be easier for me if I'm sharing it with you guys as well, and including that content and talking about that stuff in my videos as well, because then I'm not going to feel the pressure to read and make sure I have bookish content going out, and all of that is a part of who I am, and it's a part of my life, and I want to I've been doing this for over a year, and I want to share more of that stuff with you guys. So I guess part of what I want to talk to you guys about is goes into a little bit of crisis of name, a little bit too. But one, is that stuff, the non-bookish stuff, something, first of all, that you're even interested in seeing on my channel, or would you rather I just kept it straight to books, or I don't really want to start a second channel for that other stuff. I really don't want to try and manage 2 channels, but I'm just interested in the thoughts too, because that was part of the Twitter poll. Was one of the answers was no, start another channel, and an answer I didn't really include on the Twitter poll is, if I do start incorporating more of that kind of content on the channel, how do you guys feel about watching more non-bookish content on a channel that's called Eclectic Reads? So do you think that maybe if I'm going to incorporate more of that, maybe I should consider updating the name? And I'd also be interested if, because I'm open to that. But I'm also interested. I would also be interested, like, if you do think I should update the name to more reflect not just books, what your ideas of an updated name might be too, because that would help if I do change the channel name or update the channel name. I may need a little help thinking of something, because it took me forever to come up with Eclectic Reads. So yeah, that's kind of, I guess I can make it shorter than I thought I was going to be able to. But that's kind of what I've been thinking about. I haven't been reading a lot. I haven't even done a July wrap up. I read 3 books in July. At this point, I'm just going to include it I'm just going to do a July, August wrap up. And like I didn't really say, but this other non-bookish content, the channel will still be primarily more than 50% content books, because that is a large part of my life. But I also, there's definitely going to be some plays coming up on the channel because I am going to be part of a script reading committee to choose the next season at one of the theaters I'm involved in. And that will be easier for me to do too, and read those scripts if I'm sharing those scripts and what scripts I'm reading and my thoughts on them with you guys too. So expect more plays to be talked about, definitely. There's a show I want to audition for in October, and I don't yet know the form that this other non-bookish content will take, if it will be vlog style or if it'll just be weekly chats, about what I've had going on during the week, what I've read, what I've stitched, what I've picked up. It might end up going back to some sort of weekly format where I just talk about what I've been up to in the week. The cross stitch stuff may cross over with floss tube a bit. I honestly don't know yet. This is all still in the early thought process. So I honestly don't know what form that will take, but I want to know if you guys are interested in taking that journey with me. So, on this channel. So let me know in the comments, please. Because like I said, 8 people on Twitter poll is definitely not reflective of my subscriber base. And I'm not going to base any decisions off of just a poll that 8 people answered. And it's possible one person might have answered twice under 2 different accounts. And that person probably knows who I'm talking about. But anyway, so yeah, please let me know in the comments your thoughts on that, on seeing more non-bookish content on the channel, and your thoughts on if I should update the name and possibly what to, or if you just wouldn't want to see it at all and would rather it be relegated to another channel, which in that case, I don't know that I would. Like I said, I don't really want to start a second channel. Sometimes it's hard enough to just manage one. So, but yeah, yeah. Anyway, sorry, something just popped up on my phone. But yeah, I need to find a better balance in my life between everything. Especially, I need to start exercising. I need to get. I've talked about that before. And like I said, to advance my career, I really need to focus more on the self-learning of code that I need to do. I had applied for an opportunity at work that I didn't get, to go into a program to become a developer, but I didn't get in, so I just got to go back to doing it the hard way. So yeah, it's good that itself is going to be easier if I'm talking to you. Again, I know not everybody's into computer code and might not understand what I'm talking about, but it'll probably be more just these are the things I worked on this week. It's kind of a record for myself, too. And I think it'll just help me stay on it and find ways to balance everything back into my life, because I've been in a huge reading slump, and I'm sorry I'm rambling a bit. I've been in a huge reading slump, and part of it is all the review copies I got in, and I just kind of collapsed. The last couple of books I finished I didn't care for, and I think I just collapsed under the pressure to read certain things. And one of the things I was thinking about that led me down this path is I needed to take control back in my reading life, and I needed to get back to reading what I want when I want. So I need to not put the pressure on myself to read certain things at certain times. And I may stop accepting review copies. I haven't completely decided on that, but especially lately, I haven't enjoyed the pressure to read those titles. I really just want to get back to reading what I want when I want. And if I read 2 books in a month, I'll read 2 books in a month. And maybe won't do monthly hauls. I'll just, occasionally talk about what I've been reading and what I've finished. Like I said, I don't know exactly what format it's going to take, but I really, really need input from you guys on that. So enough, I've rambled on for 10 minutes on that. So let's get into the book haul. And I'm actually going to start a little bit with an inclusion of some other content. I'm actually going to do a little bit of a vinyl haul too. I've never talked about vinyl on this channel, and I do have a record player, and I do enjoy playing vinyl records, and I've picked up a few this weekend, and I want to share those with you guys too. I know that's something James Chatham does a lot. He does specific vinyl haul videos, but it's understandable with him. You look at his videos, you see a wall of vinyl behind him, but I definitely don't have the collection he's got. But I do enjoy picking up vinyl, and but anyway, onto it. I went to a library sale last weekend. It was a $5 for a bag. You just grab a bag, fill it up, pay them $5. That's what it was. So I got a lot of books in that. To keep the video on the shorter side, so it's not 40 minutes long, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on them. And the series, I'm just gonna blast through them. So I'm not going to describe the books a lot. I just want to show you what I picked up. So first off, since they're right here, I've been making a spreadsheet of a bunch of series. It's a Google sheet of a bunch of authors and their series and the books, what books are in them and the publication order of them, because I like publication order as opposed to chronological order. But a couple of those series are going to come up here. And one of them is Terry Pratchett's Discworld. That's a massive series that I've never gotten to, and I've always wanted to. And the library at the book sale had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Discworld books. So those books are Mort, which is a death novel, Guards, which is the City Watch of Ankh-Morpork, Carpe Jugulum, which is another, I think, death novel. I'm not positive. I don't have my spreadsheet open in front of me. The Thief of Time, which I'm almost positive is one of the death novels. And Thud, which is another novel of the City Watch. So I picked those up. Another series that I don't know where to set stuff right now. I got my computer over here died last week. It was actually the day I found out I didn't get into the program at work too. So that was a great day. But my hard drive crashed on this computer over here, so I've got stuff over here, and I got to pull hard drives out and try to recover some data. And I got another hard drive in there that I'm sure wasn't affected. There's 2 hard drives in the computer. I'm sure, I'm pretty positive only the one that contains Windows and some other files was affected. I'm hoping I can get some of those files, recover some of those files from it. But I have to pull the hard drives out, get them into enclosures to make them external drives. And see what I can pull off of them. So I don't got a ton of room over here right now. Anyway, when I was making my list of books, one of those series is Terry Brooks's Shannara series. It's a series I've always wanted, like since I was in preteen. I've wanted to get into that series. I've bought books in it, and it's one of those series that I've just never gotten around to. And when I was making my spreadsheet, I discovered that there's a novella in a collection. There's actually 2 novellas. One's in Legends 1 and Legends 2. Novella collections edited by Robert Silverberg, which contain stories from Anne McCaffrey's Pern, or novellas from Anne McCaffrey's Pern, and Terry Brooks' Shannara, and Diana Gabaldon's Outlander, and Song of Fire and Ice from George R. R. Martin. Just a bunch of different collections of novellas and authors, massive opuses. So the day after I made this spreadsheet, and I went to the library sale and I found Legends 2 in hardcover. So I grabbed that. So that was a cool find. I got yet another Beatrice Williams book, Along the Infinite Sea. This is the third book in her Schuyler, Schuyler, Sisters series. So I need to start reading some Beatrice Williams and find out if I actually like her. This was a great find. I was able to get all 4 omnibuses of Glenn Cook's Black Company series. So this is all 10 books in 4 omnibuses. The Chronicles of the Black Company, which contains the first 3 books. The Books of the South, which contains the next 3 books. Black Seasons, which contains the next 2. And The Many Deaths of the Black Company, which contain the final 2. Final 2 up to now, but I found out that there is an 11th book coming out in a few weeks, actually, in September. So I thought that was a great find. I was surprised to find all 4 omnibuses, and they're in great condition. I don't know where to set shit right now. Oh shit, everything's falling. I picked up a mass market edition of The Roundhouse by Louise Eldridge. I have this on Kindle, but I kind of liked this cover and this edition of it. So $5 in a bag of books, I grabbed it. I got Craig Johnson's The Cold Dish. This is the first novel in his Longmire mystery series, which is kind of a Western mystery series set in Wyoming. Longmire is a sheriff who kind of does things in the old fashion in our modern policing world. So I've seen the first episode of the Netflix show, and I enjoyed that, but I've always kind of wanted to check out the book series too. I got Colm Toibin's Brooklyn. This is a book I've been wanting to read for a while. Con Iggulden's got a series of books Julius Caesar series. This is books 2 and 4, I believe. I can't start reading it yet, but it's the Emperor series. And then this is The Death of Kings and The Gods of War. So that's a series, again, I've been interested in for a long time, and just never checked out. I got an Allie Smith hardcover, The Accidental. Again, I don't know much about it, but I have read some Allie Smith, and I've enjoyed it. So I wanted to grab that. And one more series. Sorry, the records are falling over and covering the books. I got Phylogenesis, Book 1 of the Founding of the Commonwealth by Alan Dean Foster, which made me discover that the Commonwealth is Alan Dean Foster's overarching sci-fi world. So he's got several series set in this world. And this is one I actually might do in chronological order rather than publication order. I'm usually kind of a stickler for doing things in publication order, but part of the reasoning is there are several unrelated series set in this overarching world. And the other reason is this book chronologically is book 2, and publication order is like book 18. And I don't know if I want to wait that long to read it, honestly. So yeah, that's the one I might break my publication order rule on and do it chronologically. But the last series, I got 4 of the 5 books in Stephen R. Donaldson's The Gap series. This is a series, a science fiction series. I don't know a ton about it, but I know back in the day when I was a member of the Science Fiction Book Club, when I was like 12, 13 years old, I got books 1 and 2 when they came out through the Science Fiction Book Club, and I never got around to them. And the library book sale had 4 of the 5 books. So I got book 1, The Gap into Conflict, The Real Story. Book 2, The Gap into Vision, Forbidden Knowledge. Book 3, The Gap into Power, A Dark and Hungry God Arises. and they did not have book 4, but I got book 5, the conclusion, The Gap into Ruin, This Day All Gods Die. So I'm only now missing one of the Gap series, and I'm sure I won't have any trouble finding that. So yeah, that's the books I picked up. And now I want to share, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vinyls this weekend. Friday and Saturday, today is Sunday as I'm filming this. I was in a benefit, not really a benefit, it was a fundraiser. It was Saturday night was the fundraiser. And we did a couple of old time radio shows. An episode of the old radio show The Bickersons, which I was not in, and then we also did an old episode of the Thin Man radio series. If the Thin Man sounds familiar, it's a very popular. It's from Raymond Chandler's novel, and there was a very popular movie series with William Powell and Myrna Loy. And that's why I wanted to be part of the fundraiser. I wanted to be in the Thin Man one, and I got to play Nick Charles in the Thin Man. So Friday night we did a the director called it a dress rehearsal, but there was 33 people in the audience, so it was a performance. But he continued to call it a dress rehearsal, but that's neither here nor there. It was a performance. But because it was in, if any of you know Michigan, there's a town called Ferndale. So it was in Ferndale, and I work in Detroit, so which is only 20 minutes, if that, from Ferndale or from Detroit. So I just drove up and spent some time in Ferndale till I had to be there. And in Ferndale, they have this kind of marketplace where that's just got a bunch of little a bunch of just random shops, artists and people who just there's one person that sells old toys and video games and stuff, and artists rent it. People just rent out space to sell their wares. And one of the stalls, a guy sells used vinyl. So I went in there and I got some vinyl. One of them I picked up is kind of more for my wife, but for both of us. But she's a big fan of this show, and that is the original cast recording of Sweet Charity, starring Gwen Verdon. And this is the book by Neil Simon, music by Cy Coleman, and lyrics by Dorothy Fields. And Neil Simon, as I'm recording this, it was announced that he passed away a few hours ago. So rest in peace, Neil Simon. He was one of my absolute favorite playwrights. He created The Odd Couple, Barefoot in the Park, the Eugene series with Broadway Bound and Biloxi Blues, and just an icon in American theater. And it is sad to hear of his passing a few hours ago. But I also picked up the original cast recording. Oh no, this is the motion picture soundtrack. I didn't realize that. Neither here nor there. But of Stephen Sondheim's A Little Night Music. I actually think I might already have the original cast recording, Broadway cast recording, down in the basement of this on vinyl. Not positive. But next I picked up, and I mostly picked this up for nostalgia, because I had the cassette of this when I was a kid, and I used to play the shit out of it. But it is the Miami Vice soundtrack. So I think it's so cool to have this on vinyl now. And, this has got Glenn Frey's Smuggler's Blues and Phil Collins' In the Air Tonight, and the classic Miami Vice theme composed... by Jan Hammer. So, I'm really excited to have that. I picked up the Stray Cats, Built for Speed. This has Stray Cat Strut and Rock This Town on it. So I thought that was cool. My wife, I'm a fan too, but my wife's favorite artist well, second favorite. Her favorite singer is a vocalist named Linda Eder. But going into the rock and popular world, her favorite is Pat Benatar, and we have seen her multiple times. And I found for her Pat Benatar's "Precious Time" record in pretty good condition. Sorry, the protective sleeve is creating a glare. So I picked that up for her. I've gotten her a couple of other Pat Benatar vinyls too. I mean, they're for both of us because we're both fans, but she is a hardcore Pat Benatar fan. And this is the one I'm probably the most excited about because I was so shocked to find it there. And it is Monty Python's previous record. I'm so excited to have a Monty Python record on vinyl. But that's it. That is the book / vinyl haul / channel chat. Like I said, let me know in the comments your thoughts about the first part of this video. And if, you know, I said it all in the first 10 minutes. So let me know. Please comment your thoughts on that. Also, let me know, you know, if you've read any of these books, if you'd like to read any of these books, if you're excited about any of those books, if any of them sound good to you. You know, and your thoughts on the vinyl if you have them too. So, but ultimately, I really want to hear your thoughts about the direction I'm thinking of for the channel. But any other comments you want to make, of course, I'm always happy. I'm always happy to hear them. I love hearing from you guys. And that's it. Thank you to all my subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, hopefully you made it through the whole thing and didn't just turn off during the channel chat portion. And if you did make it through the whole thing, thank you so much. I hope you stick around. I'd love to hear if this is your first time watching me, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I said in the beginning as well. So if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button so you know when I post new videos, and I'll see you all in the next one.